trying I'm trying an armchair this time, and I feel a bit like a supervillain.
I don't know how I feel about it, actually. It's gonna have to grow on me. It is a very relaxed version of you, which I think is great. You definitely have a yellow and orange mustard theme going on, mustard ketchup theme going on.
You know, I like to be consistent.
I like
The
that about
brand.
you. I like it about you for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what is everyone drinking?
It's a great question. That's usually my question, but
Oh,
well, no, you
maybe
can
maybe we
run
should
with
wait.
it. Run with it. We'll start with you. I think. What are you drinking? What is that? Is that a bottle of wine?
The Curator from Costco. It's a 2020 red blend because I just
Excellent.
can't get enough of 2020.
I
I don't want
Might
to
be
drink
why
it
you
in a
have
bottle.
COVID.
need it in my bloodstream at all times.
I am drinking. I actually just got finished with Whole 30 a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh, how's that?
Well, as it turns out, I have no tolerance now. So I'm sticking
That's
only
good.
with the things that I know I can manage. So only the things that I know will not throw me under the table, which is a short list. So it's like a vodka and soda with a lime twist because I'm
Love
that girl. I'm living in
Love
the
it.
suburbs. I'm going to do the burby thing.
I am Noah. That's Zack, the guy who's absent. So we are obviously with Painted City, right? You know that. You know it. You love it. We all love it. But yeah, so we have happened to stumble upon Amber, who's been a great and awesome friend to us. And we decided to put together a music video for our song Feather, which is coming out June 18th. And I thought it'd be a fun experience for people to kind of talk about what that looks like, what that goes into it, and really all the work that Amber does and kind of how she takes what we do musically and makes it very visual. I think, perhaps Zack would agree with me, and he has no vote because he's not here, but I think she took what we had in our heads and in our ears and really made it into a really great picture of that. And it was really cool how it all came together through a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and volunteers as well. And it was awesome to kind of see it all happen. And now that it's finished and coming out, it's even cooler to kind of have that. And so if you imagine something that you love and you dream about and you want to see it go out into the world and you want other people to experience it, it's really cool to have it in our medium, which is music, but it's also super cool to see that supplemented in multiple mediums on video as well. And to have someone, so Amber's really shown care and love and dedication to us and what we are doing. And so I thought it'd be a great time to kind of highlight her achievement in this video. I think that'd be fun for a lot of people too.
Great. That's great. I'm glad we can wrap up the interview there. I mean, that just covers everything. So thank you so much.
All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
See you, Zack. Thanks for showing up.
I'm just kidding. Your part is done though. Your part is done for now. So we're gonna roll it back just a little bit. We did the release of the CD and the record, so that's awesome. But Amber, tell me how you met them and how you kind of came into their little world.
Okay, so it's a hilarious story. I moved to Denver in October and I joined like a filmmakers Facebook group and just like threw it out there. Hey, I direct, I edit, I animate. My passion is making music videos, but you know, I do all the other filmmaker stuff. And then I randomly got a message from a guy who's a cinematographer. His name's Coleman. And he's like, hey, I have this band. They want to make a video. Would you like to direct it? I want to shoot it. And I'm like, cool. Cause that's like, I love working with, you know, a DP, which is director of photography or cinematographer, whatever you want to call them. And just being able to come in and, you know, do my thing. But so he met Zack through Reddit. So it's like none of us knew each other. Like we all met each other from kind of like these obscure places on the internet. So I feel like when it was all happening, we were all kind of like, is this real in a sense? But also at the same time, like we're all doing something that we absolutely love, you know, filmmaking, making music. So we're like, fuck yeah, I hope so. All of my like bets are on this. So like, I'm going to give it my all. and it all worked out. So yeah, we had like a FaceTime meeting and realized, hey, everyone's a real person here. Let's go. Let's do this thing. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know they've requisitioned players from Reddit and a whole lot of ideas from Reddit. So finally getting in touch with people to help them create their vision and produce it in such a way that everyone can kind of see is really cool. Now, tell me a little bit about your background. Like, where do you come from? What is you said you like directing music videos, but what kind of things have you worked on before?
So yeah, I went to Ohio State for, I guess I have a bachelor in fine arts, but my degree is like focused in art and technology. So that's like making art with technology. So that literally means like I learned how to 3D print, laser cut, do 3D animation, 2D animation, video, sound, like anything that has to do with technology. That's where I was. But like my main focus was like, I just love video as a medium. And so that was my focus in school, just like my personal focus. And I don't know, I love music. I'm also a musician. I keep that like super low key, don't really play that much, but when I listen to music, I definitely see visuals. So it goes hand in hand and kind of comes naturally, I guess. So that's kind of how I got kind of, I don't know, pushed into the music video world. And I knew a lot of musicians and just got asked to, shoot their videos, and it just kind of snowballed from there. But I've worked on commercial pieces and like campaigns for fundraising videos and all kinds of different stuff. So corporate side, professional side, and then also more of the artistic side. But I definitely prefer the more just conceptual art making because I really get to dive deeper into who I am and also who the artists are that I'm working with, like Zack and Noah. Just being able to listen to their song and feel it for myself, but then really dive into it and be like, well, what did they mean? And then I get to have a meeting with them and ask them. And then we collaborate on, those ideas and make some beautiful visuals. So
That's awesome. That's all. We're going to jump back to that in a second, but right now I'm really curious, Zach, about this post that you put on Reddit, because I'm sure there are bands out there that are wondering what is the winning word phrase that's going to get you a produced music video as opposed to an awkward trip to a foreign country for servitude. I mean, like there's a lot of room in Reddit, and I'm curious, kind of, because you've done this more than once. What kind of things did you look for? What were you looking for in your ad?
Well, it actually went the other way. Coleman put the ad up, and the
Okay.
keyword that he put in there was free.
Oh, that's always
Yeah.
fun.
He had put up there that he was new to town. He was a photographer and a filmographer, and that he was interested in, kind of feeling out the scene with some local bands. And he said, I can't promise it'll be good. I can't promise anything other than that I won't charge you a dime. And I'm like, that sounds fantastic. Here's my music.
It's my budget. How'd you know?
Yeah. And so I sent him our music, and he seemed interested. And after a couple of days, he's like, hey, are you all right if I bring in a director? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? That was Amber. And then she kind of developed the vision for this video. And they brought in a is it a grip or a gaffer who does the light?
we'll just call them Grip and Gaff because there was only one.
They brought in a light guy. And we made the video. We brought in some friends of ours to star in it, who were both younger and prettier than Noah or I. And
Not hard.
and
No judgment.
not hard.
Now, did you guys have an idea for what you wanted to do? Like, I know we talked about this in the last podcast, where you write a song, you have kind of a storyline in your head. Did you guys already have that? How much of that did you use? Did you know where you wanted it to go?
So I had not so much story, but more of a palette, more of a treatment of light kind of thing. Because I do photography too. I'm sure you can tell from this lovely setup I have here that
I'm gonna have you come and rig up my whole studio because it's gonna make all my videos will be so much cooler.
oh, absolutely, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
um, but I had palettes and ways I wanted, kind of a diffuse lighting. I wanted, this kind of vibe to it. But as far as plot or what was actually occurring on screen, I had nothing, just nothing to go from. And that was pretty much all Amber.
I will chime in and say, like, I know the main kind of line or theme or point was, I think maybe Noah came back and said, like, well, actually, I don't remember which one of you it was, but love at first sight. That was kind of what I really latched onto. So I got that from you guys in the beginning.
Yep. So
Good contribution, Noah.
thank you, Noah. Yeah. Noah, I know you had an idea because you and I talked about it too, kind of an idea of what that storyline looks like. Did you have input? Or was it free reign? Because I think there's a lot to be said, and a lot of artists, especially musicians, can really take that leap of, here, I'm going to give you my gift of sound. Take this and create a storyline from it with your vision eyes, because I think that there is a separation that can really beautifully marry when it's done right.
I think it was a little bit of both. So I remember in the beginning there was a meeting and I missed it and I couldn't make it. So I was trying to make up for it afterwards and trying to describe what it was, and I think it evolved over time. But yeah, the love at first sight is kind of the core of it. And so I remember kind of walking the actors and Amber through, like, what does that mean, right? And what kind of love is that? And in what scenario? And so this particular song, it is about love at first sight and two people look into each other's eyes and they have this shared moment of knowing that the other person is the one, but it's more of a realistic love. It's not just like, oh, we're in love and everything's great and happily ever after. It's the hardship, it's the fights, it's the celebrations, it's the triumphs, and it's the failures, but it's enduring at the same time and it's long lasting. And so how do you capture that in a video? That came from Amber, and how do you do the visuals on that? But the storyline really is there. There's a lot of, like, this song in particular is it's personally my favorite lyrically. It has a lot of depth to it, so I think we had a lot of options to go there. But the depth is a lot of metaphors, and so how do you express that metaphor and that feeling visually? That's where I kind of let go and kind of said, you know what, this, genre better than I do, not genre, but this medium better than I do, and go there. Here's the intent that we're trying to cross. And I think it really came together and captured it. It was really interesting kind of watching it being done and going, oh, I didn't think about that. But yeah, that really captures the essence and the feel visually versus musically.
Nice. And I didn't say it earlier because Zach was running around, but I wanted to congratulate you guys because I did take a look at the video. The video is great. It's very beautiful. So you did a fantastic job putting it together. Now, Amber, when you were putting together the story, like, tell me your process, because I'm really curious. Like, do you listen to the music and then you go and create the sound in the storyboard, or do you just kind of run with it once everybody gets there?
Yeah, I mean, I sit with the song, and it always helps. Just hearing, the meaning behind the song, the reason why it was written. That really just gives me somewhere to start, because I can listen to a song and, definitely feel my own way and bring my own baggage to the table or whatever, and have a lot of visuals, but, having that like concept to latch onto definitely helps me. But yeah, it's just a matter of listening to the song over and over again and looking at the band completely. Like, I've researched you guys. I've looked at anything I can find on them on the internet, and really studied their branding and you know, even the genre and like the way that they write. Like I really haven't made music for anyone who, or music videos for anyone who makes synth pop yet, you
Mhm.
know, until I met you guys. So that was something I really had to dive into and learn more about, and just think about the aesthetic, as far as video goes. So that's kind of why I went with more of like a sci-fi VFX. And it's almost like kind of a like a low resolution video as well. Like it's not
Mhm.
super high def and crispy and crazy. Like it, I feel like, yeah, it's just with my research, it just matches their music. So that's how I do it. And
Nice.
then basically I form that pitch, throw it at them, see if they like it. If they don't, I would have made something else, and until we found something that stuck.
And
Nice.
she really incorporated a lot of the visuals from the album, the cover art I did with the 2 circles and all that. She found a way to work that in a way that felt very simpatico with what I was intending with that design, where it's, you know, this kind of alien presence, I guess. I don't know if that is exactly what I'm trying to convey, where it's an unnatural element in an otherwise natural world. And that I think really came through with the treatment she did for it.
Nice. Where did you guys film it?
Denver.
Thank you for that deep
Nice.
insight into the shooting location.
All right. Video's over. Podcast is over.
We're done. Cool.
Summed it
Thanks,
up.
guys.
The majority of the video is like, well, you see there's a tunnel. It's just up
Right.
on a bike path in
Oh, cool.
Broomfield. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Broomsfield.
Yes.
Broomfield. The best part about that tunnel
Up in
was
my
we
hood.
had to turn off the public lighting or block it. And there were like some joggers and some bikers. And so it definitely gave off a really neat vibe to them of
Mhm.
like, what the hell is going on?
Totally legit practice right here.
Yeah, this is
So-
super cool. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're good to go. We're just 6 people standing around turning off lights.
Yeah. What'd you do? Like Harry Potter illuminators? Like how did you turn off the lights? Like I'm only curious because I've never tried to
Paper?
turn off a light. Oh, you just covered them?
Some super fancy paper that the
Never mind.
lighting man, Dan the man, did.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Covered all
Cool.
up.
Our bag of tricks, as you know, all filmmakers have. So tape,
Nice.
paper.
Nice.
And then we brought a ton of tube lights like you see them in the video. So those
Right.
are all lights that we brought, and we actually we velcroed them to the tunnel. So it's like a concrete tunnel, and then there's like sticky velcro. They're called nan light tubes. They're RGB tubes, so red, blue, green. They cycle through all kinds of colors. So yeah, that's something that, you know, we talk about as filmmakers, like what kind of lights are we going to use? Where's the location going to be? What's going to bring this to life and kind of convey this story the way that we want? And as you can tell, like in the video, there's many lighting cues that, you know, just kind of drive the emotion
Mhm.
with the song. So yeah, that's all stuff that was very much like just thought out by me and Coleman, both like collaborating together on the lighting.
Very cool. Very cool. And is there a venue in there? I thought there was a venue in the okay, what's the venue?
Oh yeah, Noah and I did our scenes at a 7th Circle, a sort of this weird anarchist punk music collective.
Oh, home of my people.
It's a sweet venue, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Sounds
It
like fun.
is.
It's so underground, but in such a great way.
Where is it?
Off Federal.
Okay.
It honestly, it's one of my favorite places we've played so far. It was just,
It just has a raw feel to it.
and the crowd was great when we went there, and everyone was
And
Just super
yeah,
friendly.
people are there because we like the venue because it just has a really great local music vibe. And the crowds that show up there are there because they care about local music and they're into it. They're not there because you had to talk them into selling a ticket or whatever. They're there because they're into it. And it's a great vibe.
Awesome. You guys are gonna have to let me know when you're back over there, and I'll go check that one out.
And it's
So
also run by donations.
my favorite. It's almost like
Which
free,
is
but not
cool.
really. I'm just kidding. Always
Um,
tip your wait staff. I mean, it's important to like contribute,
Well, like,
especially when it comes
yeah.
to local music.
I mean, the people who run it are all volunteers. So everyone's there because they care.
Very cool. Very cool. That sounds like fun. How'd you guys find the actors? Very sweet little couple. They're fun.
So yeah, that was me. Eventually we were like, we're gonna need some actors. I looked at my wife and I was like, hey, you're the only cute girl I know.
Well played.
Do you want to be in this video? And she's like, hell no, like I'm way too old for this. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. Anyway, so I was like, well, yeah, I don't just like know a bunch of cute, 20-year-old girls. And she's like, well, I do. I'm like, okay, name one. She goes, oh, Delsa from my work. And I was like, okay, can you talk to her? And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, really. Go like talk to your coworker about being in a music video. So it was super awkward for her, but she did it. So thank you, Macy.
Fine.
Yeah.
Amazing woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guys, so Ray, so we've been playing a bunch of shows with. He's really great. He's part of the goth crowd. And we were like, we need a male lead. We need someone who's handsome. So he plays most of his shows shirtless. So I know he's handsome.
Oh, he's the guy who played before
Ooh.
you guys when I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was that guy.
Nice.
And yeah,
He's got
Ooh,
cheekbones for
exactly.
days.
I didn't
so
recognize him with
asked for-
clothes on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's got a great,
He's
looks
very
way better
nicely built.
naked than me, I can guarantee you. But yeah, so he's great. He's a great friend. He's a great helper on that. And so he was really generous to donate his time as well. And he was, I remember at one point we had someone who was like, hey, you want to play a show this day? And they asked both of us. And I was like, well, if you need to go ahead and play, go ahead. He goes, nah. He goes, your thing is way more interesting than just another show. So I think even the actors were really into it as well. They really kind of showed up.
I think it's fun, especially for local bands. When you start getting into another medium, I think it really creates an opportunity to reach different people. So when you've got a certain genre of music, and you guys are very specific in synth pop, that doesn't resonate on the radio. That doesn't resonate necessarily outside of the shows that you play, because there's not a huge following, which is fine
Yet.
because I think yet. Because I think it gives you the opportunity to play with the medium a little bit more. But when you start incorporating video into that, you have the ability to reach a lot more people who may be interested visually, or who may understand the story and understand the emotive that you're trying to get out of it. So I think it's a really great opportunity. And I think that one thing I haven't seen and have probably wanted to see a little bit more of is local bands trying to incorporate more video, especially now, because now you can find amazing people, as you guys have, to create a video to kind of take that next step.
Yeah, they're just falling out of the internet, man. It's
What you find on Reddit, man, is a talent. I just can't even. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we got really lucky, I would say.
I would say so too.
It
So you guys haven't released it yet, though, have you? Or are you about to release it? What's the timeline on the release date?
So May 30th, we will be announcing it officially.
Okay.
And luckily, I say it's 99.9% Amber. We have all sorts of different content about promos. We have a whole bunch of promos we're going to be releasing, kind of sending out hints for the weeks leading up to June 18th. And then on June 18th, it's going to go live. I think we're going to have a little release party at my place, a little celebration. The actors haven't seen it, which I think will be fun. I actually decided not to show it to my wife, so I think that'll be fun.
Very cool.
So
Are you going to get a big like sheet and project it for everyone to see?
Ooh, we should.
We should. I don't have a projector, but if we did, I got the sheet.
Listen, I'll get a projector if y'all can get a screen.
I have a projector.
Oh, well then.
I have a white wall. A big sheet.
We got
I'll make it work.
this.
I got
That'll
a
do.
big voice. Are we going to tell everybody about this party?
Oh yeah. Actually, I don't know. This isn't my house.
Oh no, you're in now. You're implicated. So
We can.
don't be shy now. So tell me a little bit kind of about, okay, so now that you've gotten the video recorded, are you planning on doing more videos? Are you planning on creating a story timeline? Where are you going with all of it? I want to hear where it's coming.
Great question. So we recorded a single a little bit ago that we were planning on releasing before this video. And then honestly, like kind of like Amber said, once we realized this is real and how real it was and how into it everyone was, and it kind of just kept on snowballing in a positive way, we decided to hold off on releasing that single because we kind of wanted to make focus on the video. And then through talking through it, I think we've worked out something where we're going to be making a video for our single as well, and we'll release that at the same time. So we will be working on it next. I don't know if there's going to be a whole connected story arc, at least on this album. That's my plan for the next album. But I do think there are going to be, certainly the art visuals are going to be similar. Everything is going to be matching in the theme. That's pretty consistent for us. And important for us as well. So I think the art is going to match. The theme will match. The story may or may not connect. We'll see.
Interesting. And Amber, what are your plans as you go forward with all of this?
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, my plan is I want to shoot an interview with Noah and Zack, just about Feather, because as you've seen in the music video, we have, kind of this narrative portion of the video. And then we also have the portion of them just performing, right, at the venue. So technically I have two videos. I have the video you saw, and then I have another video that is just them playing at the venue. So my idea is like, I really want to be able to tell their story and get it out there, and then add that performance video at the end of their story. So that's kind of like the next release. And then, like Noah said, we're going to work on this other single that's going to be coming out. And I don't know how much I can say about the song, but it's amazing. I've been listening to it every day. Like, I have a daughter. She's 1.5 years.
Oh,
Like,
congratulations.
we were jamming out. Like, our whole family was literally dancing to this last night because we're like, we're going to fucking make a music video for this. Like, it's so good. Like, that's the thing. Their music is so good. It's just, yeah. So I don't know. Noah, when you were saying like the videos may be connected, obviously through the artwork, but I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, we should try and get Ray back to be the main character. That'd be so sick.
He definitely would.
Yeah.
He doesn't really strike me as a shy guy, so I'm pretty sure I do it twice.
Let's get him back after he sees the music video for Feather. Maybe we can get him.
I think it'll
Just
be
a
an
plug.
easy sell.
Just a plug for Ray real quick. He's got some music coming out. I'm actually doing a remix for him right now. I'm doing a song called Down, 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 and it is a bop, as the kids say. It is a dancey tune. Noah's signaling something at me.
I don't know. Gang symbols, gang signs. I don't know what they mean.
I don't.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
And it's
I know
and
something you don't.
What do you know that I don't?
The wow thing.
Oh, okay.
This wasn't meant to be a big deal. Keep going, please.
No, now
We've
that
digressed in such a
now
fun
that
way.
you've derailed the podcast, do you want to explain that to us, please?
I don't know if you guys listen to my other podcast. I don't know that derailing is an option. That it just kind of is a thing.
But yeah, no, definitely to the kids out there listening, check out Ray Diess, Diess. Is that right?
Yeah.
But no,
You guys will send me some links. I'll put them in the show notes.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's fun. I think the combination is really entertaining. When was the last time you guys put on a show? I haven't seen you guys
We took a
since
break.
I was dying
We
last
took a
time.
break on purpose. It's not for lack of opportunities. So yeah, so we are currently re-examining what is the best combination to grow. So we played a lot. We played 7 shows in 5 months, which is quite a bit. And a lot of work goes into the shows. We play a tight set. We like to be very professional. That's important for us. And we're having the itch to write more. So we actually have a couple songs, which one's done, 2 we're almost done with. But I don't know. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way to grow and how to use that. So we've been really working on changing our marketing and what does that look like to grow. So
Nice. It is the season. So if you guys decided you wanted to get back into the show performing, now is good. Now's a good
it's
time.
not a for lack of opportunities. I think we have to figure out the right opportunities.
Mhm.
So there's plenty of venues who will say, sell 20 tickets or whatever, or just
You
pay
don't need to be
us.
anybody's bitch. Just find the good shows.
So yeah, so there's lots of those opportunities. So we're trying to be a little bit more strategic
right.
because we did plenty of those and that didn't really seem to grow. So we're looking at, what's a different way. I think Zach said it best in that our music is our best asset.
Mhm.
And how do we get our music in front of more people? Yes, the genre isn't huge. However, I think we write enough that it's catchy, right? And it's entertaining and it's fun, and we could put on a good show. So how do we really, if we can get it in front of people, then that's what's best. And so how do we get in front of the most people?
Right.
I'd love to play a festival. I'd love to do, for bands who are touring or in town, that kind of stuff opening up. I think we're at a level where we can. But how do we do that? How do we get in there? And it's not by, pay to play shows.
Right.
And so finding that niche is what we're really working on now. We're really focusing on. We've been talking a lot about our approach.
And a lot of that is going to come down to internet content, and this video in particular, and is going to go a long way with that. Is going to push the aesthetic of what we're doing. It's going to push the vibe. It's gonna it's gonna reach a larger audience than playing to 10 people at a bar on a Tuesday,
Or
Absolutely.
even a Friday. And I think with that too, so we I say we, it's Zach. So Zach's a fantastic artist. Fantastic. So he does all the art for the band. And something we've been really focusing on too is let's embrace that side of us. Let's embrace the art, the artist inside of us. And so how do we use that to enhance it? So there's video, right, which is great.
Mhm.
We also have Zach has been building a huge database of just content to share, and some of it's abstract and exploratory, some of it's more realistic. And so with the video, we kind of intend to start kind of reaching out to fans a little bit more and kind of sharing either something because it's weird or it's cool or it looks neat or just something that we're doing. In addition to that, so I've been focusing on working on merchandise, which I think is really cool. So again, the art's really cool. So I don't know, I would love to have like a shirt or something designed by Zack, that kind of thing. So there's also, art posts, and you can get this stuff made on basically anything, but the visuals are cool. So let's roll with it. Right. And so really kind of embracing that side a little bit more, I think is going to be cool for us.
Have you seen, and I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on it, as musicians are kind of, there's so many mediums out right now. There's so many different ways for artists to kind of explore different pathways and really develop a fan base in legitimately a lot of different ways. So have you guys what are your thoughts on like NFTs and how you can create kind of your own ecosystem of art? I see Zach smiling, so I know you're going to jump in.
you touched a nerve.
Oh,
It touched a nerve, and I've had enough scotch that I'm about to tell you about some
well,
NFTs.
bring it, sir.
Please point
NFTs.
more.
are the antithesis of the promise of the internet.
Mm.
The promise of the internet is that we would eliminate scarcity. We would eliminate this bottleneck of scarcity that prevented people from getting art and music and whatever it was. And then NFTs come along and said, we're going to grind natural resources into paste and turn that into artificial scarcity so that we can keep you from getting the promise of technology.
Yes and no, but there's an element to NFTs where you can basically set a price on whatever you create and thereby generate revenue, which may or may never be your objective. However, you can create kind of more awareness and interest in what you're doing, not just with NFTs, but with other options. I mean, to me, and you're a good example. Like Painted City is a great example of it because you guys are not just artists. You also are designers. You guys are also sound engineers. You guys also have vision. You also, I mean, there's so much more to we wrote an album and now we're going to create a video and you're going to watch it on MTV and then we're all going to go about our day. It's much different from that now, and I think that the opportunity is definitely more viable to share and to explore.
There are definitely ways to get it out there. Just NFTs in particular, it takes a lot of electricity to generate an NFT, and electricity comes from, unless you're running a solar farm, then it comes from natural resources. And it's kind of dodgy. I'm probably the hippie environmentalist of the group. But no, there's definitely, it definitely generates interest, I guess. I think that's fading away very quickly. With the fucking awful what's it, Bored Ape Yacht Club, that was just abysmal as a function of art and as a function of commerce. I mean, I guess it was very successful as commerce, but it was, I don't know. But I think Bored Ape Yacht Club, look that shit up. It's someone basically had drawings of monkeys that, as far as I can tell, were procedurally generated, and then sold them as NFTs for stupid amounts of money. And like Eminem bought one, I guess. and I don't.
So let's back up. I have a question for Zack.
Yes.
Throwing this out there. Sorry, Wendy.
No, this is a group effort.
Yeah. So and more, and I don't know really how I don't like the waste of resources. That's why I refuse to participate in like Bitcoin, because it just is a stupid waste of power when we have a dying planet. But just for the conversation, NFT versus, like, your wife, for example, makes drawings and then sells them on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in your mind, what is like, there's different ways to create, I would say, commerce. How are they different for you? Is it just the waste of resources?
All right. You're a D&D player, right? Not to out you, sorry.
It's known.
Okay.
I don't think this is new information yet.
So imagine you get an item, right? And this item is the non-fungible trident. Okay. And this item is +3 magic damage. And twice a day it can cast the wish spell. Incredible item, right? But
For all of our viewers out there, that's a really sweet thing.
that is absolutely baller. But it's a cursed item, so you're not actually able to wield it in the physical sense. It's forever stored in a vault somewhere that you do not have access to. You own the item, but you can never actually wield it. And anyone can make you only have a painting of the item, and you can say, hey, this is my item, I have this item, and anyone can make a functional copy of that item with a DC 10 tool check, right?
If I could, this is getting real
Oh,
detailed
you
in
can.
D&D.
By all means, you can.
I feel like potentially a better analogy for what you're going for is more like a timeshare.
It's
that
like a
correct?
timeshare.
This is
if
my
people could copy.
vacation house.
I'm lost
I
on
can-
both fronts, so feel
I
free
can
to
use
fill in the
it. Is
gaps.
that what you're going for? Because the D&D item you're describing sounds like a timeshare item.
No, it's basically a JPEG, and you have ownership of the JPEG, and you have proof that you have ownership of the JPEG, but it functions as a fucking JPEG. Anyone can download it, copy it, post it on the internet, make a billion. It's you just have a fucking blockchain proof that you are the owner of that JPEG, right?
So perhaps I hit a nerve on the NFT example. But the point of the question was more the myriad of options that the internet provides to an artist and how perhaps maybe you might utilize some of those going forward or recommend to others who are now dipping toes into new mediums to get their message, their creativity out. So the NFT, yes, might have been a button that I probably should have stepped back on. But in the broad spectrum of things, it's really easy to connect and touch, and touch is the wrong word, but connect and really reach a lot of people where previously, 20 years ago, quite frankly, you created a track, you hope the track got record play. If it didn't, or radio play. If it didn't get radio play, then you played local shows, and then that was it.
It's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, so it's just sort of blown up the entire ecosystem where you can make a living without being, a household name, right? You can make money if you find a way to connect to whatever your people are.
I mean, we can start dropping products and you can start getting affiliate money just for having this conversation. So the world's changed.
Definitely. It's but at the same time, there's a with the way software is developed, with the way computers have developed, anyone can do this and they can all put it out there. And so the gatekeepers of the 1990s are all dead and gone.
Right.
And that in a lot of ways is a good thing. In a lot of ways that makes the pool that you're swimming in a lot bigger, right?
So yeah, it does, and anyone can do this, but there's a difference, I think. And not to toot our own horns, but I think there's a lot of bands out there, and they're all trying hard in their different ways. So there's a lot of awesome bands out there who are local and unappreciated. There is
Shout out to
also
Ray and Hex Cassette, both amazing local artists.
They are super great. They both put on great shows. And even some of those metal bands we saw at Cervantes.
Oh yeah.
They were awesome.
And Julian Street Nightmare, also
They were
very
great,
good if
yeah.
you're into the post-punk thing.
So yeah, so there's talent out there. I think what the different in the modern day, if you are a talent and you are talented, the difference, before it was just writing a song, like you said, playing shows and getting out there. That's not nearly enough. It's what I'm discovering is it's discipline, right? You have to, it takes a lot to put together. There's a difference between just we're just going to show up and just play a show. That doesn't happen. You don't, if you want to do something with it, it doesn't happen unless you're 20 and you have a shitload of friends who don't have anything to do on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean? But we've been exploring this a lot, and Amber said something to us as well about what's your story? And that whole piece really kind of hit. And so as we've, I mean, even thinking about between the last podcast we did and now, what's
Mhm.
changed and what perspective. But it's really kind of understanding what we are, and then how do you send that out to the world? But you also have to be very disciplined. We have meetings where we sit down and we talk about, okay, when are we releasing this and what's going on and how does this work? And is it going to make it to every fan in the world? No, but these things are still important if you want to make an impact, right? And so having the discipline and the regiment to be, to carry yourself like you are something is important, even if you're somebody in your basement recording a podcast or making a video or making some music or doing whatever. That's the difference between what it used to be, right? So now, yeah, you can reach out to the world, but you have to have the discipline around stuff like this, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
And I'll just add to that and just say, like, you're totally right. The discipline is number one. And it's also just like understanding your influence, so like we were just saying, like, you can't just play play shows and just like gain a bunch of fans. Like, you have to have an online presence and you have to know what your story is. And that's like understanding your story is understanding your influence. It's understanding your target audience, aka your fans, like people who actually care about you and buy into that story. And it's like, just kind of going off of what Wendy was saying, like, you guys have vision, like you have this world that is developing around your music. Like your music is, I don't know, it lends itself to world building, which is so freaking cool, because I don't know, you can really think about how you just take your fans and your viewers out of their world and give them a different experience. And I don't know, I feel like your content is very surreal. And
I think that's spot on. I think, and not to interrupt you, but I think you're spot on in that a lot of people listen to music to escape. So for a lot of people, it's like an emotional release. It's a physical release because I can't count the number of times I've jumped in my car, cranked up the radio, and listened to whatever I needed to listen to change either my energy or recapture my energy or whatever. So the place that you get when you start creating music and start having an impact in someone's life, like it may be one person, it may be 100 people, but the more you understand and appreciate your commitment to them, the better that relationship gets and grows, because it's the law of manifestation. Like you just, as you grow, you grow. So, do you grow one? Do you grow 100? It's the same number because you're still growing. Does that make sense? Or am I just tripping? I
makes sense to me.
think it's all good. I think it's all good. It's a direction for the future. I mean, so even now, like, I talk a lot about, what happened 20 years in music, 20 years ago in music, because 20 years ago it was a lot harder. I think, even in your space now, whether you're it's almost like an abundance thing. Like there's no lack here. So you may imagine like the world here being very small, or your audience very small, but as you get to the internet and you're starting on a global, suddenly you're in a communal mindset. So you could have impact in Finland or Australia or wherever, and you may not even realize it. So that consistency does come back in again.
Yeah. And like there's like it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like you have that reach, you can do, anyone can do that, right? Anyone with an internet connection and a computer can make that happen. At
But
the
only
same
you can do it
time,
the way you do it.
like at the same time, like record labels are expecting you to do that. Like no one does that for you anymore. If you get to that level, there's an entire genre of TikTok videos that are just bands or like, yeah, my label said I had to make 3 of these a day, so this is my TikTok, and that's
Doesn't make it good.
no. And so like I think the challenge And the trick is probably making content that's, for lack of a better word, genuine, that has, if, as much substance as a 15-second video can have, or at least, the spark, hey, this particular idea did something for me. Here's this idea, and it doesn't, and in terms of a 15-second video, it doesn't need to be, the fucking Moby Dick. It just needs to be, hey, this is something that genuinely sparked interest or an aesthetic response in me, and here's that. And so that's going to be, I think, the trick of these next couple of months for Noah and I is generating content that has resonance.
Right. So now that you found your Spielberg and Amber, do you think that'll change how you guys create going forward? Will you create with that end goal in mind, or do you think that will, I think it enhances anything, but you tell me what you think.
I mean, it's certainly going to be a huge help.
Yeah, so I think like musically, for me, lyrically, it's always been very visual. What I think there's been a lot of growth for us in terms of, it's one thing to have it in your head. It's another thing to write it down. And, that's, if you think about that, conceptually, it's one thing to have music. It's another thing to have it, on video. And there's a lot of respect for how that goes together. Like I've seen the work that Amber puts in terms of like this shot ties, even in editing, right? How do you take this shot and a transition into that shot? It's just fascinating to watch, having watched the recording and then what comes out of it. And it's really, to me, opened up my mind of, well, one, how important video is. And two, just how much we've grown a lot and how much growth we have yet to come. And I'm really grateful for, I guess, the advice and the process that we have been given from Amber, to kind of push us a little bit. And so obviously I'm a pro Amber fan, but it's been really nice to have.
She does good work. I think that's wise.
Yeah. She's a good friend to have, for sure. And it's been really, actually, I called Zack the other day and I talked about, hey, it was specifically about Amber and some other folks. I was like, we have some folks who are really investing in us, and who really care as much as we do. We should make sure we're doing right by that, and that we are investing back, because we would be really shitty people if we didn't, you know what I mean? And how easy it is to fall into the traditional, oh, I'm just a band, everyone should love me, but it's not, right? You have to give back, and you have to give a shit, and you have to give a shit about what you're putting out to your fans, and you have to care. And we have folks who care, and I think that is really special for us.
I'll just chime in and just say, like, you're right. Like, I feel like this whole thing, like, I just met you guys, but you've been on a podcast with Wendy before, and like you've been working together for a while, but it's just like right now it's just naturally everything came together, right? And it's just confirmation, and like you guys really have something special here, and we're not just like saying that, like, we're investing our time in the band too, like you just said. And yeah, I mean, I'm down to help you guys build, because I really do believe in your music and I love your music. And yeah, that's all I want to say.
That's the best endorsement you guys are going to get. And I recorded all of it, just so you know.
And next time you and your family are jamming out to Skies of Gold, you should post it.
Pop a camera.
That would be adorable.
Absolutely will.
I mean, there's enough little midgets among us that we could probably make a really cute video out of all that.
Not a bad idea.
Oh my gosh. The video with all of our kids. All of our kids.
It could
We got
happen.
some real good still shots from the shoot of my kid just like bopping around in front of the lights.
So cute. He is so cute.
The babes are
awesome.
precious. So let me ask you this, because one thing I love about you guys is that you're very serious about the process. Are you having fun? Is it a good time? Like the music's good and it's definitely vibing. So are you guys having fun while you're doing it? Because that's kind of key.
Yes.
Yes.
Like it's fulfilling is what it is. It's like
So it's like giving birth literally.
exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's harder than giving birth, and
I was on drugs, okay?
I was
Luckily.
not. I'm gonna call an objection, but keep going. I've been watching a lot of Johnny Depp's trial lately. Don't mind me.
is that I think for a lot of creative types, it's like fun isn't necessarily the right word for it. I can only speak for myself. I am a moody bitch when I'm making anything.
I can speak for that.
It's good to have confirmation, Zach.
but it's fulfilling, and it's on some level compulsive. Like there is an innate desire to create, and for me that takes a bunch of different forms, music or art or whatever, but it it is fun. It is fun getting together with my friend and like going out to bars of various calibers and playing to 2 to 15 people.
There's
Depending on the
more.
show.
There were more. I would like to just protest one moment, because at the show I went to, there were more than 15 people.
There
I
were
would
a
say
bunch
there
of
was at
people.
least 30 people there.
That was a good crowd. That was a good crowd.
It
at
was,
that
It
it's
all
growing.
depends.
The whole thing is that it's growing though. So it's the
Yeah.
momentum again. It's as you guys are doing shows, like the more shows you do, you can't help but grow your audience. Period.
Yeah, the show's growth is interesting. I do think it is growing. I think Zach really hit something with compulsiveness. There is a compulsion to create, and it's great to have a partner who has that same mentality. And that's why I think we work very well together. And Zach, you're not allowed to quit me, or I will kill you. But
Oh, you guys are cute.
we're
just
in love.
kidding. That's
So
beautiful.
but no, it's true. Like, so there's a lot of people who play music, and then there's people who just they would be doing it regardless. And to have someone who is a partner of like, yeah, we're doing this, we might as well do it together,
Mhm.
and to really be dedicated. And so it's an easy conversation when you create, because it's not about you, it's about the compulsiveness to create.
Right.
And so when we create music, it's like maybe we disagree on something, and it's not uncommon that we do, but it's not about him or it's not about me. It's about what we believe is better for the genre and better for the music. And having that in mind makes the conversation and the relationship work a lot better. So I mean, I remember when I met my wife, and we had talked about getting married, and I said, hey, and I was in a band at the time that was pretty big. And I said, look, maybe this band stays, maybe it goes, but just so you know, this is happening throughout the rest of my life, no matter what. And if that's like we're like 50 and we have kids, I'm gonna be playing shows on a Friday, and it's gonna be really annoying because you're gonna have to watch all the kids and deal with this. Happy to make up for it on the back end. You can sleep in the next night. I'll suck it up. I'll do my part. But this is happening, and if that's an issue, let me know. And obviously it wasn't. And she kind of goes for it and is very supportive in that. But I think the fun part is true, right? But I think fulfilling and compulsive are really the things that we do. We do this because and to me it's also, it's not enough just to do it. Like if we just wanted to throw a bunch of covers together, that's not fulfilling. That's not pushing yourself. That's not trying to define something. I mean, I started writing folk music, and I've migrated to this synth pop thing, right? Because it was a challenge and it was interesting and it was a new and different way to create. And so there's always that drive to do more. So it's not enough to do an album. You have to really do it professionally. It's not enough to do it a professional album. We have to put it on vinyl. It's not enough to put it on a vinyl. We have to create an art deco, or not art deco, an art scene that goes with it, and all of the artwork in there. I mean, within the vinyl, there's an artwork piece that's in there. It's not enough to do that. We have to create a video. It's not enough to do this, and you can kind of see it, right? So it's, for us, it's not enough to just go up on stage and play 15 people. This is why we have marketing videos, and this is why we have connect with people with Amber, and this is why we do these things, and this is why we're up till midnight half the time doing this stuff, because it's not enough, and we care and we give a shit. So I'll get off my soapbox.
No, I get it. It took me a long time to realize that my passion is capturing the stories. So I don't need to be the storyteller, but I love hearing the stories. And so for a long time I didn't do it, and here we are. So,
And thank you
think
for
it's
that.
important. Yeah, anytime. That's why we're here, man. Talk about the things. So Amber, what's next for you? What are you doing next?
I'm just out here working, freelancing, making
Nice.
music
This is where you
videos.
insert your plug for new work.
Hey
Don't
guys,
be modest.
You can find me at www.ambermedia.com.
Nice
Now,
links in the show notes.
Here we go. Right now I'm kind of, I don't know. I do a lot, but I like being in post-production. So video editing and motion graphics is kind of like what I've been focusing on. And motion graphics has been like, I don't know, I'm putting more time into motion graphics and visual effects, which you'll see in the music video that we're going to release. That was kind of like the first public video that I've done, like tracking and, just adding elements that aren't actually in the scene. So I'm getting.
Can I interrupt you for just 1 second? So
Sure.
You're being very modest. This woman has eaten live worms for music videos.
I feel like you need to share that
She's
story now.
underselling her dedication to her art here and what she's got coming up next.
Well then,
Either you're on Joe Rogan and it's Fear Factor 2022, or there's more to tell.
The weird date night.
Whatever. I'll try anything once, right?
Atta girl.
No. Well, I guess, I don't know. I got involved in a music video. I was just trying to connect with other local Denver filmmakers, and someone needed a female talent that was right in my age range. So I sent them some headshots of myself, and then they told me about the role. Well, the role had some, I don't know, some pretty grotesque actions, which involved slurping a live worm and putting octopus in my mouth, and I handled a lot of like dead fish. So I know it's very strange, but I was like, all right, they paid me well, and
but you
got
did
to
it,
meet
right?
other filmmakers, and I got to make another music video, but I was an actor during that music video, but it was really sweet. It was cool.
I'm very curious how wiggly worms taste.
Well, the fun thing is, the worms were inside of a cake. So I started as this, my character was this housewife who basically becomes, I don't know, possessed by a demon, basically. And I become a demon. So I'm cooking all these nice things in the kitchen, and then it turns out that they have worms and dead fish and things in them. So
that's fun. You're gonna send me that link too, and we'll throw that in too. Right?
Yes. That was a Noble Bison production,
Nice.
local production company, and the band is called, oh gosh, I'm gonna mess it up. Helgramites. Helgemines. I think that's
Okay.
how you say it. I'll send you the link.
Send me the links. Send me the links.
I assume
impressed.
it's a metal band.
It is a metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the
Punk.
devil worshipping part?
I don't know. Yeah.
Or why are you so
Maybe
judgy?
You listen to enough metal. I'm not judgy. I love metal. You listen to enough
There's
metal.
some very beautiful love songs in metal. I just want you to know.
Yeah, they're screamed very well.
Yeah.
If you
No,
want
that's
someone
awesome.
to know,
That's awesome.
if you want someone to know that you love them, you scream it at them.
This is what I'm learning. Again, from the
How does
Amber
it
Heard
work for you
Johnny Depp
guys?
trial.
Yeah. What do you? This is how it works at my house. I don't know what you guys are into.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's cool kind of like the whole visualization of a concept is pretty exciting and interesting. Mostly because like I think very linearly. So every now and then, like when I dream, I have really cool, vivid dreams, but day to day, you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna get from A to B and I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. So I think that whole creative process is really exciting and fun. However it's done, if it's for synth pop or metal or whatever else.
My moment when I realized like, oh, this is real, this is a thing that's happening was I think it was after our first meeting. I got a link to Amber's website. I'm like, oh shit, this is legit. Like this is actual. This is going to be an actual video. This
She's
isn't
professional. I like
Yeah,
this
this
about
isn't going
her.
to be. This isn't something like someone's going to shoot with their fucking iPhone. This is going to be
Mm.
real.
There
And
were so
It does
many
take
of-
me back to a sentiment with you guys many years ago. If there's not a website, it's not real.
There were
how you
so
know.
many.
That's how you know.
There were so many of those moments where you're like, is this happening? Like Zach and I would just look at each other and we were going, is this real? Like when he like, I mean, okay, so imagine you're me and Zach of all people comes to you and goes, hey, I found this dude on Reddit. He's gonna help make our video. And I
We're
said,
gonna meet in a dark tunnel in Broomfield.
yeah. Well, if we had known that at the time, I definitely would have told him to go fuck off. But like, and I'm like, okay, great, you and your weird internet friends. That's cool. Let me know when it's a real thing. And then it died for a while, and then it came back. And he said, hey, that guy got back to me, and he wants to bring in a director. And I went, okay, good. And then yeah, but then we started like looking into it, and I think at that time either Amber or Coleman started looking at us, and I feel like we were both just, if it was in person, we'd both be standing across the table from each other going, are you real? Wait, is the other person real? Is this actually happening? No, this is happening. And then like we all take a step forward in the process and yeah, this seems like it's happening. And then it was like, well, crap, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna need actors. And it was like, well, I could find actors somewhere, right? And then we did, and it was just each step the whole time. Again, I can't emphasize enough how many times I looked at Zach and just went, is this happening? Is this real? Is this real? Did we actually find someone else who's professional and cares randomly on Reddit?
I don't know if it was random. It sounds very directed and pointed, but yes, on Reddit is the disclaimer.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice convergence of energy. I think it'll be fun. And when is it? You don't have a next show. When do you think you guys are going to be back on the road? And by on the road, I mean down the street.
We just got a request today for, what was that? June.
I thought it was July.
I'm just saying, when you release a song, it's one thing, right? There's one layer. Then you release a video, you have to support it with the music live, because then people want to know more about you. They get more curious. You want to get them embroiled while they're there at that peak curiosity.
I go back and forth. I do wonder if our next stage is not more internet based.
What would you do? How would you do it?
Internet wise?
I mean, are you going to do like a Facebook Live? How are you going to do it?
I mean, we could. I do wonder if. So again, we have played so many shows, and once you get in there, it's great, but it doesn't grow. So I think we need to really focus on growing. And I think that is going to be through the internet. And so there's a bit of discovery for us. And there's going to be some trials and tribulations. I think once we get something of a following that where we do have some following, but something, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. So there's a little bit of unknown here. And so there's a part of me that wants to focus on growing virtually based on, I think, who we are and where we're at and what we're doing.
Right.
I would love to kind of spend time focusing on that. There's also an element of, I think we play a lot of shows and we really want to create. Our single is great. Everyone should listen to it whenever it gets released. But there's a giant backlist of songs that Zach and I have that we want to work on. And so it's hard. We have to balance our own needs with that. So I don't know. So that the whole, like, when are you going to play? It's difficult. We are trying to find different avenues to play different types of shows.
I
And
think
so
even
that
if you
sounds
don't
good.
play live in front of a bar audience, to your point, you can still do something live, shot well and almost curated on a social media platform, and may
Amber.
I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad that you did. To where you have that opportunity to reach more people. So instead of, being forced and limited by, covers at the bar, you can actually reach an audience again globally, that you didn't know existed, but now knows that you are there.
Yeah, and it's something we've briefly talked about. It's something I'm interested in pursuing a little more, is doing the live performance, Facebook Live or TikTok live stream or whatever. And the algorithms reward that sort of thing. If you're online doing a live thing, it pushes your content,
Sure.
and so there's on one level there's a synergistic aspect to that. But what I'm starting to think about is how do we make we can plop a camera on my desk and kind of run through our set, and just by merit of the fact that we're all electronic, it's gonna sound pretty good. But I'm wondering, how do we make that something? How do we make it, what's the spark? What is it?
You tie in your visual storyteller. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're onto something. It's just a matter of getting it and not overthinking it. I mean, in today's world, there's not time to overthink. So lots of opportunity to be had.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Is there anything I didn't ask you guys that I should have? Any of you? Anyone? All right. By the crickets.
PaintedCityBand.com.
Well,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, I'm going to put paintedcityband.com in the show notes. I will put links to the video as soon as the video is released.
It will be per your advice. We are going to post it on YouTube and all that stuff, but there will be links on the website to the video played. So we're going to have weekly promos. There's particular dates we are releasing promos. All of the latest promo will be posted on the website. So if you just want to drive everything through the website, through what a wise person once told me, then that would be totally fine. You can look for those. They will be updated the day that they are released on all other mediums.
Excellent. We'll go ahead and get that posted up. And then Amber, you have been amazing. Thank you for showing up and taking part. And anything that you would like to throw in before we jump off?
If you're a band and you're watching and you need or want a music video, hit me up. ambermedia.com. I direct, I shoot, I edit, I do VFX. So yeah, I'm here.
She is also teaming up with the Spot Studios where we did our album.
Nice.
To help curate folks who are coming in there and recording an album. And If you are recording an album, it makes sense to make some videos. So you should talk to the Spot Studios about working with Amber on your video.
Very cool. Keep me in the loop on that, Amber.
She
Let me
has
know what you're
our-
up to.
She has our
Okay.
full endorsement.
Excellent. Excellent. Yay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, if you guys want to check, if anybody wants to check them out, paintedcityband.com. Show notes will have all of the aforementioned information links available. And yeah, till the next time.